Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is about these. Yes, today's video we are talking about the Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeshadow palette and which one is best for you. If you've been wanting to pick up an Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeshadow palette but you just don't know where to start, you came to the right place. The first palette I'm going to talk about today is the Sultry palette. Now this palette is a very cool toned palette, and that's actually the reason why I initially didn't want to buy it. Here's a closer look at it. I basically just saw it as a cool toned palette with one pop of color, and I just didn't really like that. I didn't think that it would work really well with my skin tone, and it actually wasn't until Nicole Cutler said that this had the best formula of all of the Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeshadow palettes that I thought, okay, maybe I'll consider it. And then it went on sale at Sephora and Ulta for like $27, so I went ahead and picked it up then, and it's actually what I'm wearing on my eyes today. I would say this was one of the biggest surprises of the ones that I bought because I didn't think that I would get use out of it. Now, I don't use it as much as I would like, but that's definitely just because I think this is the second newest one I've gotten of all of the ones that I have, but I have really enjoyed it. I think that it is so easy to use, and I actually used this silver cyborg color on someone's prom makeup, and it just looked absolutely beautiful against a cobalt blue transition shade that she wore for her prom. So like I said earlier, this is a very cool toned palette, so I think that if your undertones are on the cooler or the neutral sides, then go ahead and pick this up because you might find this to be a very good everyday palette. I've found that I don't use this necessarily every day unless I'm going for a more glammed up look, but this definitely works for me. And so, like I said, I would recommend this mainly for people who like cool tones. Next up, I'm going to talk a little bit about the Modern Renaissance palette. Now, this was another one that when it initially came out, I thought it was a hard pass. I thought, oh, okay. Warm tones, everybody's got warm tones. I don't need any more warm tones. And it wasn't until I went to an Anastasia Beverly Hills event where someone used this on me, I think in conjunction with one of the highlighter palettes to, add some glitter on top. And the look she created was so gorgeous that I decided I was going to go ahead and pick it up. I didn't pick it up that day. I did, wait a few months and all that to make sure I still wanted it, but I am very glad that I did. I would say of all of the palettes, my favorite shimmers are in this one, the Primavera and the Vermeer. I am begging you, Anastasia Beverly Hills, if you could make Primavera in a single shadow, I would love you forever. I'm so close to pan that it's so depressing. Okay, but on the flip side, I was really happy to see that Burnt Orange was in this palette because it's also in the Soft Glam palette, which I'm going to talk about a little bit later, that I hit pan in that shade here, so I was so excited to see that it was also in this palette. This palette is definitely for the warm and pink toned lover. It is so easy to use, and like I said, these shimmers right here are just unmatched. Definitely recommend, like I said, for someone who is a warm toned lover. Next up is Soft Glam. Now, this one, I talked so much crap about this when they released the photos about it because I thought that it looked like the most boring palette ever. I thought, like, when would I ever use these colors? To this day, this is my most used Soft Glam palette. If you told me to reach for a palette and blend for my life, this is the girl I'm grabbing, okay? This is, of all of the eyeshadow palettes, in my opinion, this is the most everyday palette. This is the palette that will work on any skin tone. This is the palette that you can easily go from day to night. You can use this every day and not be unsatisfied. You can create a lot of different looks with this. I love the fact that it came with the black end, which was definitely something that I overlooked at first because not a lot of palettes come with like a great black. As you can see, I have hit pan on a few of these shades, and I'll just tell you right now, this is probably the only palette I will ever repurchase. Ever. So of the bunch, this is the one palette I would recommend to everybody and their mom that likes eyeshadow. This is a great place to start. It is so easy to work with. Now for the one who is a little bit more outside of the box, we have Subculture and Prism. Now I don't own Prism, but I actually didn't buy Prism because I felt like Subculture was a little bit too similar in terms of like the color story, and because I wasn't using this as much as I would like to, I didn't see a point in going ahead and picking up another palette that reminded me of this one. The type of person who likes to use more of grungy and subdued colors, this palette is definitely for you. Now I know there was a lot of hoopla about the formulation, whatever. I love this palette, so that's why I would recommend it. I will say definitely like be careful with it. It is like a very powdery palette, as you can see, but I still love this thing. I have made beautiful looks with this, and I particularly love this Adorn shade in the palette. Of course, I can't really speak on Prism, but I'm sure it is just as good as all of the rest of the Anastasia palettes. And lastly, for the person who loves color, you have the Riviera palette, and you also have the Alyssa Edwards palette that will be coming out very, very soon, which I obviously don't have, but I wish I did. So this one, as you can see, it is very colorful, those beautiful tropical colors. I think that this made me the most excited when it came out. Of course, this is my most recent purchase from Anastasia Beverly Hills, and I have created a couple looks with it. I think my favorite shades are Bahamas and Seychelles. I think that's how you pronounce it, Seychelles. Well, they're my favorite shades in this palette. This was definitely a home run. My only complaint is this purple shade right here, the Cans. It's beautiful, but I don't know, I just had a little bit of issues working with it. But I am looking forward to possibly picking up the Alyssa Edwards palette because it is so beautiful, and I think it will complement this palette very well. Like I said, if you're someone who loves color and experimenting with color, pick this one up. This is the perfect palette for you because the thing is, you get the Anastasia quality and you get those beautiful bold colors. And you know, of course, not knocking any of the previous palettes, but this is the first time, you know, that I've seen that they've created something that's more on the colorful side. So I can't wait to see the future of the Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeshadow palettes in general. So that wraps up my thoughts. I hope this video was helpful to you in trying to decide which ABH eyeshadow palette that you're wanting to pick up. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. That way you don't miss any of my videos. I hope you're having a great day or night. Bye.